at the impact you've had worldwide?
I'll show you why I'm such a great guest at these panels. You heard the question? I like to give an answer that really grips you. Feels good. I don't know what else to say. It feels nice.
Is there another line? How many lines are there?
Just the one.
Just the one. Next, please.
Hi. So I'd say that it's a huge, huge honor. My question is, of all your villains, my favorite were the symbiotes, and I just wanted to know where you got the inspiration for those characters.
He wants to know where the symbiotes came from, like Venom and Carnage and those kind of characters.
I hate to tell you this. I did not create Venom or Carnage. I forget who did, but they're two characters that I didn't create, and just my luck, they became well known. But I don't want to try to take the credit for something I didn't do, which I'm known for normally.
Today's an exception.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next, please.
Hi, I have a question in the Frankly chat app from Daniel Watts. You created X-Men as an allegory about racism and prejudice, two human weaknesses that defined America in the 50s and 60s. If you had created a superhero team today, what kind of real-life problems would you try to address with your comics?
Can you summarize that?
If you created the X-Men today, what kind of real-world problems would they confront? Yeah.
Probably terrorism, pollution, the energy crisis. I don't know, I guess. And I'd still stick to bigotry. I think that's still a big problem in America. With one exception, it's perfectly okay if you want to dislike DC Comics. I'm only kidding, really. They're all friends of mine.
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir. I just wanted to ask you, what inspires you to create your stories and characters?
What inspires you to create your stories and characters?
Greed. I needed the money. It was a job. I got paid for it. My publisher would say to me, "Hey, Stan, the Fantastic Four is selling pretty well. How about coming up with another superhero?" Well, if I did and it sold, I could keep my job. If I didn't, I might get fired. Now you know the true answer.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Next, please.
Hey, when I was growing up, before my question, I just wanted to tell you something. When I was growing up, I didn't have a lot of people to look up to in the neighborhood that I lived in. And the people that I looked up to were your comic book characters. And it wasn't because of their powers or anything like that. It was because the qualities that they had as people. The people around me didn't have those same qualities. And I wanted to grow up to be like them, not to be like the people around me. And I feel like if I didn't have that, I don't even know if I would be alive right now. The places that I've lived, I don't know if I would even be able to be talking to you. So I just wanted to thank you for that. And
You grew up in a bad neighborhood, in a difficult situation, and your characters were role models that enabled him to be successful today.
Thank you very much. So send me money. I gotta tell you, it's incredibly frustrating. It's not that I don't hear. I heard you talk. But it's my audiologist says it's clarity. I have trouble making out. For me, it sounded like, I hear the sound and I can't make out the words, and I want to tear my hair out. What little is left. I have the same problem with seeing. I know there are people there, but I only see a mass. My luck, him I can see. Anyway, go ahead.
Yes, and you had a question, sir.
yeah, do you feel a disconnect with the characters? Because all these big movies are coming out, these huge movies, and they take liberties with them to change things around and stuff like that.
I heard him say they take liberties with the movies.
How do you feel about the liberties they take?
Doesn't bother me because the movies are so successful, And I have nothing to do with the movies, and I get a lot of the credit for them, so I'm not going to complain.
What is your favorite Marvel movie that you were in?
My favorite what?
What's your favorite Marvel movie that you were in?
Well, I tell you the truth, I liked them all. If I mention one, and the director of another one hears I didn't mention it, I'm finished. So I think they're all wonderful. My favorite is usually the one I have a biggest cameo in.
First of all, Stan, I hope you feel better soon.
Thank you. That I heard.
I was wondering how your movie cameos came to be.
How did your movie cameos come to be? What started? What was the first cameo?
I think it started with Bryan Singer, who did the X-Men, the first X-Men movie. He said to me one day, would I like to be in a scene? Well, despite the fact that I'm known for my shyness, I said, yeah, I'll be in a scene. I don't know if you remember the scene. There was a guy walking out of the water and everybody is staring at him. And one guy is selling hot dogs at the beach. And he's going like that, looking at, and that was me in a piece of acting that should have won an award.
Thank you so much, Stan. Excelsior!
Excelsior!
I know there's more to the answer. I was going to say I must have done so well at that cameo that all the other directors said, why should Bryan Singer have all that luck and pleasure using Stan? So now they're all fighting for me. And if you believe that, I have a bridge in Brooklyn, I'll tell you.
You saw many hot dogs?
No, I never saw, I didn't even get to eat one of the hot dogs.
Okay, who's next?
Another question from the Frankly Chat app from Brian. Stan, who is your favorite artist of all time?
My favorite artist, what?
Of all time.
You know, they're all so wonderful. The one I did the most work with, though, and the one who was the most successful, I guess, was Jack Kirby. Jack was an absolute genius. He could take any story and make it seem twice as exciting and twice as interesting by the way he drew it. In fact, I was the luckiest guy in the world because all our artists were great. Ditko, John Romita, John Buscema, Gil Kane, Gene Colan. I mean, they all made my stories look better than they were. And I better not, I hope none of them hears that or they'll want to raise. But, they were wonderful. I mentioned Jack because he did the most with me. And Jack was an incredible artist. He would just take the illustration board and start drawing. He never made preliminary sketches. He just started drawing and the drawing was finished. It was as though it was all in his brain and he was just tracing it on the paper, what he had already drawn in his brain. We could do a whole panel about that, but we'll save that for next time.
All right. Thank you. Who's next?
How you doing, Stan?
All right, so far, nobody's thrown any banana peels at me.
Great. Your big
Did he
inspiration.
say wait?
Your big inspiration behind this concept that I created with this superhero, and I just wanted to know, are you going to try to create new, contemporary, fresh heroes for today's generation, or are you going to still follow the old Marvel comic characters?
He wants to know if you're creating any new characters these days.
Oh, yeah. I'm not doing any new ones for Marvel, but I have a company called, I'm still with Marvel, and with Disney, because they bought Marvel, so now I'm with Marvel, I'm with Disney, oh boy. But I have my own little company called POW Entertainment. And of course, you've all figured out that POW stands for Purveyors of Wonder. And we're doing a movie right now called The Annihilator. It's being done with a Chinese production company. It's going to be very big, not a Chinese movie for all over the world, a new superhero. We have a new superhero in India called Chakra, the Invincible, that you'll be seeing soon. And we have a few new ones we're working on that I can't